I want them to leave with knowing that they are the most important person in their child's life and they can help their child. I specifically try to help parents help their children with their weight, but it kind of goes to anything. Parents, you are the most important person in your child's life. They're watching what you do. And so the work that you're willing to do on yourself will 1000% benefit your child.
Won't waste another minute. No, I won't. I'm a
Here's the
man
million
on a
dollar question.
mission.
How do men like us reach our full potential, grow into the men we dream of being while taking care of our responsibilities, working, being good husbands, fathers, and still take care of ourselves? Well, that's the big question. In this podcast, we'll help you answer those questions and more. My name is Brent, and welcome to the Fallible Man Podcast. Welcome to the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for all things man, husband, and father. A big shout out to Fallible Nation. You guys make this all possible, and a warm welcome to our first-time listeners. My name is Brent, and today my special guest is board-certified pediatrician and certified life and weight coach, Dr. Sheila Carroll. Dr. Carroll, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm really excited about this episode. This is always a interesting topic as a parent. I have two younger children, 8 and 10, and you worry constantly about that example you're setting and what you're doing and how they're eating, and right, it's just crazy. So I'm so excited about what we're going to discuss today. But Sheila, I don't do big introductions, so before we get rolling, who is Dr. Sheila Carroll in your words?
I am I have a 10-year-old. Oh, he just turned 11. I have an 11-year-old boy. I consider myself a mom first. I am a pediatrician, like you mentioned. I've been a doctor for 23 years. We live in Maine. I'm just a regular person. I've seen, I started this topic of trying to help families address their healthy lifestyle issues because we're experiencing that in our own family, and also I've just seen so many patients in the office who are struggling with this. And there's definitely things that parents can do and that you can do as adults to help your child, frankly, without your child really having to do much at all.
Okay. Now, Sheila, you work with a lot of parents, both as a pediatrician and now as a coach. Let's just get the cat out of the bag and level the field for everybody. What's the biggest parenting mistakes most parents are making trying to help their kids live a normal, healthy lifestyle?
I think parents underestimate what they can actually do. I have a lot of parents. Well, so just to be perfectly clear, I actually left my job as a pediatrician after 23 years about 6 months ago for a lot of reasons.
Wow.
One, I wanted to spend time with my son, more time with my son. And I really want to focus on this healthy lifestyle medicine approach, even though I'm not functioning as people's doctor, I'm more functioning as their coach. But in all my years experience, I think the biggest mistake, if you could even call it a mistake, but I think it's parents not having the confidence and not understanding how much I guess power would be the right word, and how much influence that they have over their children. Sometimes parents bring their child to the doctor, to a therapist, to someone, and say, here, please help me with my child. And yes, of course, all of those people are there to help you with your child, but you're with your child 24/7, year round, day in, day out, more than once a week, more than once a month, obviously. So when parents feel empowered and parents understand the role that they can play, that is the most powerful way to help your child with weight issues, with anxiety issues, with any, really frankly, any health issue, in my opinion.
Okay. I wanted to start with that just because I want all of the moms and dads, because for a men's show, I actually get a lot of women who listen to my show as well. I want all of the moms and dads to take this home. Okay. No parent is perfect. We're all learning as we go. There are a million books on this subject, and no one's got it down pat. And no one has it perfect for your family and your children in your relationship. So you're not alone if you're making some mistakes out there. I make mistakes every day as a father. So I wanted you guys to hear that.
Me too.
We all have room to work, okay? Now, Sheila, before we get too serious here, what's just something absurd that you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. What is some things absurd we like to do? I like to do. I I don't know. But that's a stumper. I love sports. I don't know if that's absurd or not, but I spend a lot of time, my free time. It's just relaxing for me, like watching sports on TV. My son likes to play in a lot of different sports. Sometimes I think it's absurd the amount of time I spend doing that.
Are you an extreme fan?
No, no, I like
No
NHL.
body pain or anything?
No, no. I'm like a regular person. I live in Maine. It's snowing out. I like nature. I don't know. I'm just normal, regular person.
Everybody has that thing. It's
What's your
most
thing?
people just don't think about it. I just randomly do stupid stuff, like just out of the blue, and it doesn't matter if anybody's here or not. Like everybody can be gone, and I'll just randomly break out making weird faces at my dogs being stupid and loud, and it just kind of has to explode somewhere, right?
Being silly.
My kids and I make faces at each other. They'll be doing their homework, and I'll go kind of distract them and be like making faces and be like, from across the room. And I was dancing off screen before we started recording, before you got on.
Okay.
Just getting it out.
Yeah,
I just have these moments where I just have to kind of let it go.
having fun.
Yeah, just,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
let it all loose and
yeah.
stop taking myself serious for a minute. So
And if your kids see you doing that, that's so good, right? Like
my,
that's so
my kids were, my wife is on the other end of this engineering. They were looking over her shoulder as I was sitting there dancing on camera, laughing. Like, Dad's being so weird.
but secretly they love it.
Oh yeah. They're usually there with me. If we like to have just random dance breaks. So,
How fun. That's good.
Sheila, I would be remiss if I didn't ask at the onset of the show. I saw you are comfortable with the question: how do we get our picky eaters to help be not so picky as we make healthier choices in our own family nutrition plan? How do we deal with our picky eaters? Every parent in America would choke me if I didn't ask that. So
The first thing I would like to offer is even though I know I used the term picky eater in a blog post that I wrote,
yeah,
I think getting rid of the term picky eater, not using that even to yourself or to your child, because when I'm seeing a lot of kids hear their parents say, my son is a picky eater, he's so picky, that child internalizes, oh, I am a picky eater, I must be a picky eater, my mom or dad thinks I'm a picky eater, I must be picky. So that's the first thing. Like, I would just try to stop labeling someone a picky eater, because that sets the stage for them to think that about themselves. And just like you and I think kids, certain kids like different foods, different tastes. And I think as adults, we have to accept that. There's certain foods I don't like to eat and I don't like the taste of. And I know that there's certain foods that my son doesn't like the taste of, and that's perfectly normal. I think part of when kids are saying, I don't like this food, I I ask parents to try to think about, is it that they don't like the food, or is it that the child is comparing that food to another food that they like more? And, kids, we're so used to having so much sugar and so much sweetness in our foods today. When you offer a child any vegetable that's not sweetened, or a food that doesn't have sweeten it, a lot of times kids' initial reaction is, I don't like that. But I sometimes, and they might not have the cognitive ability to really take it to the next level and say, oh, I guess I like it less because it's less sweet. They just kind of say, I don't like that. I'm not eating that. Um, but we know all over the world that children eat lots of different fruits and vegetables that are not commonly eaten here in the United States. Um, and so I think with picky eating, when kids say, I don't like something, I think that that's okay. And I think parents can still keep offering that to the child and just keep trying to introduce it without pressuring them to actually eat it.
One of my favorite games for my daughters, our little local supermarket. We live in a really small town in the middle of nowhere, but our local supermarket is really great about bringing in fruit from all over the world.
Oh, cool.
And so, and the nice lady who heads up the produce section is really awesome about explaining things. And, I've had to ask, like, okay, how do I feed this to them?
Yeah.
I barely know what this is. But she absolutely loves it. Like, she'll cut fruit open right there on the spot and stuff like that.
Um,
But we'll go and see if there's any fruit we don't recognize and buy that and bring it home and figure it out and see if we like it together and stuff like that. It's so cool because they bring in like rumbaton and
yeah.
papaya, and we get stuff from all over the world, dragon fruit.
That's so awesome. That's so wonderful. That's such a wonderful thing you're doing for your daughter, for your family. That's a perfect way to introduce something new, and then see if you actually like it or not, you know?
It was their idea. We were walking through the produce section one day, and my oldest daughter was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, that's a dragon fruit." And she's like picking it up and looking at it. I was like, "You want to try it?" She's like, "I don't know." I said, "Well, I'll try it with you." So we asked, the nice lady in the produce section, like, "Is there anything I need to know about this? How do I serve this?"
Yeah.
And we brought it home and cut it up, and they both love. I'm probably saying it wrong. Rubaton, like these little. They're about this big, and they look like a spider. I mean, they got little fuzzy, like long brown tentacles all over them,
I
and
don't even know those.
you have to crack them open. And it's got like it looks almost like a leche or something
Okay.
on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're common in parts of Africa and
Oh,
India.
wow.
So
Wow.
they're really cool. It's like, I don't even know how we got these here in this store, but yeah, sure,
That's a great way to kids are really interested in where food comes from usually. And that sometimes is a good way to introduce new foods to people. Talk about where they're grown, how they're grown, depending on the age of your child. They like hearing about the people who help grow the food, transport the food. All of those things, can increase the child's interest in why you're eating something. And the other thing is, instead of just saying, like, well, we're eating this because it's healthy for us, or it's, well, actually, this, if you figured out whatever this,
Mhm.
you know, spinach or whatever you're eating has this particular vitamin or mineral that is going to help your muscles or help your bones or help your heart. And kids really like that because every single child really wants to be healthy. They already are healthy usually, and they want to keep that way, keep themselves that way. So they're interested in eating well. So drawing on the foods and why you're eating them and how they're going to help their bodies.
Mhm.
uh, my experience has been that kids really like that.
So I was doing research for the show because I always spend some time getting to know who's coming on the show before I talk to you. So that way I actually have something to talk about, right? Which sounds reasonable. But I was looking through some of your material and you talk about a concept of a modern world versus an ancient body. And I
Yeah,
think that's really going to play into our discussion later. So will you share that concept with people?
sure. And I'm pretty sure this is not my own concept, but it's just the words that I use to describe it. Our bodies evolutionarily, have are essentially the same as we've been for hundreds of years, but our food source and the foods we're eating are so different now than what they were. And this has to do with um, the science part of how you gain weight or grow or lose weight. And so it has to do with all of the hormones. Uh, Sorry, do you think? Sorry to do this to the Sarah. Could you? Yeah, that help. I am like when I'm looking at myself talking, I am like a disaster. I am so sorry about that.
You're,
I'm
you're fine.
losing complete.
That's fine, Sheila. That just
I'm
makes you
so
human.
new. I'm like a novice.
Staring at your own face, talking to yourself is unnerving for most people. So
Okay, I was
that
like,
just
where
makes
should
you
I? And
human.
then
It's
I was like, I
okay.
could look somewhere else, and then that just looks weird. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm making this harder than it
No,
has.
you're doing great. It's fine. That's just not, you know what? Our listeners will enjoy the fact that we're real people. So that's
Okay,
fine.
good. Well, they'll enjoy it then. um, okay, so ancient body, modern food is the fact that the foods that we have available today were not available. Some of obviously, some of them 50 years ago, and certainly not 100 years ago, certainly not 200 years ago. But our bodies are essentially the same. So um, it used to be that foods with sugar, added sugars. We're not talking about fruit or vegetables with natural sugars. We're talking about foods that have added sugar, all of the things, corn syrup, maltose. There's 70 plus names of sugars,
Mhm.
um, and our bodies weren't really designed to handle the amount of sugar that we're getting today. Um, and the food system that we have adds sugar to most foods because it tastes good and it helps shelf life and all of that kind of thing. And it increases sales. Um, so, to get into the science of things, and I'm not sure if you want to briefly go to the science of,
Wherever you want to go is fine.
okay, of why too much sugar is not great for our bodies. Um, let me hold on, Brent. Let me think for a second. Um, if I could speak to, you know, we're trying to raise our kids who live in these ancient bodies, even though they're young, even though they're, chronologically young people, the way that their hormones respond to the modern foods that are like kid foods, especially, that is creating a lot of health problems. And it is certainly driving the overweight epidemic in our kids. Um, when you have when you're eating foods with a lot of sugar in them, your body responds to the sugar intake with an insulin spike, your insulin raises up. The insulin um, opens up your cells to decrease the glucose out of the bloodstream to get the glucose into your cells for energy. If you're not using that energy right then and there, your body stores that extra energy as fat. Um, and that has historically been wonderful for survival because in ancient times, food wasn't readily available. You would happen upon food, and food was very seasonal. But today, in today's world, we have food, we have these foods with all of these sugars constantly available 24/7. We can get them no matter what. Our body's storage system still acts in the same way. Um, so we need, as parents and as adults, we need to understand how our bodies and how our children's bodies are functioning in today's modern food system. And it's food choices that we make that are going to be so powerful for creating health and wellness in our family.
All right. Before we roll to our sponsor, let me ask you, what is the most effective way for us to communicate the need for healthy choices in our lifestyle to our children?
Well, I'll tell you how I do it with my son. Um, I think you just we just have to be very honest with our kids and say, food is like fuel for our body. It's not only about eating the thing that tastes the best all the time. And we need to understand that our body is a machine, and essentially, like, sometimes depending on the age of the child, you could say, well, your body is like a car, and you want to put in the proper gas in your car for your body to function well. And if you put in water, if we went to the gas station and I put in water instead of gas, my car wouldn't run very well. And so sometimes I think kids can really understand that. And also I think that they can start to understand, like, just because something is available and you can buy it and you can eat it or drink it, it doesn't mean it's healthy for you. And it doesn't mean it's something that you should be eating or drinking on a regular basis.
Okay. It's amazing to me in my own health journey, just like trying different foods, right? Trying to make better choices, digging into finding stuff. And it's like, oh, I thought that was healthy.
I
I
know. I know. The
so
added
disappointing.
sugars are everywhere. Ketchup, spaghetti sauce, anything, even all of these healthy granola bars or fruit yogurt. Um, oh my goodness, my son came home from school the other day with the school breakfast, which was a packaged muffin and a little package of dried cranberries, craisins, I guess. But 24 grams of added sugar in a tiny little package of cranberries.
Which would explain why my daughters love craisins.
Yeah, which is important for parents to understand, all of us to understand. Our brains are wired for sugar. This is and wired to really, like, oh, take notice. This is goes back to the ancient brain thing, or the ancient body we were talking about a few minutes ago. The human body developed to keep doing things that are, it found pleasurable, number one, um, and and that are good for us. So sweet foods are an easy source of calories, and our brain really lights up when we eat something sweet. So historically, like way back in the day, your brains would just take notice of eating something that was good, and you would keep doing it to prolong your survival. And we still have those brains today. Of course, I think sometimes that, of course, our kids like to eat all the foods that are available. they actually taste good. Who doesn't like Doritos, right?
Right. Oh, straight to the heart with that one.
Me
That
too.
we've been trying to deal with some common concerns about parenting and healthy lifestyle choices as parents for our children with Sheila so far, and just kind of leveling the playing field, getting into that spot where in the next half of the show, we're going to dig into the foundational building blocks of our children's health and what's really going to move the needle and help you as you try and raise healthy kids. We're going to roll our sponsor, and we will be right back with more from Sheila. Now, before we go any further, I wanted to share with you guys, I don't always tell you how much I love doing my podcast. Like, I passionately love what I'm doing. And one of the things that makes my life better as a podcaster is to work with a company like Grow Your Show. Grow Your Show is a one-stop podcast do it all. Now, I use Grow Your Show for my marketing, but Grow Your Show is literally a one-stop shop. You can record your episode and just drop it off with them, and they take it from there. It's amazing. If you are interested in picking up podcasting as a hobby, or maybe you're looking to expand your business and use podcasting in that aspect, talk to my friends over at Grow Your Show. Adam will take care of you. I guarantee it. I trust him. He's my friend. He's my business colleague, and I wouldn't trust anybody else with my show. All right, guys, we're back here with Dr. Sheila Carroll discussing the foundational building blocks of children's health. Now, Sheila, before we start hoeing this road and getting it all worked out here, what purchase of $100 or less did you make in the last year that's had the biggest impact on your life?
Oh,
There's not a wrong answer. So,
well, I guess I bought this really awesome wool blanket that I this is how boring I am.
no, not boring.
That is so awesome at night, and it helps me like keep my temperature just right.
You just made Sarah's day. She's doing a happy dance in the background, even if you can't see it.
And I'll
She
just
just bought a new one.
oh, she did, yeah. And it's a perfect. I love the color of it, and it looks great, and it's super functional and pure wool, and I love it. So honestly, that's been the best purchase I've made in a while.
We've had shoes to shorts. We had one guy who he told me, man, I found the best pair of shorts ever. I bought one pair. I went back and bought like 5 more pairs. These shorts are like $70 a piece, designer
Whoa.
shorts. I
Yeah.
was like, but hey, if that's what moves the needle for you, you got to be able to
It's changing
relax and
shorts.
sleep well. And it's there's no wrong answer to that.
Okay.
Like I said, Sarah just bought a brand new blanket for her to curl up with on the couch when we're sitting down in the evenings and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's
the
so
minute you said it, it was like, ah. Now, Sheila, you list food, sleep, movement, and stress management as the big issues we need to work inside to help our children with a healthy lifestyle. I want to kind of tackle those one at a time. So, what's the most effective way to help our children with healthy food choices in general? Like, how can we get
the
them to
most
recognize and convey that to them?
yeah, the most effective way, and it's the same thing for all of these choices, is for the parents to model the behavior that they want their children to see. Our goal as parents is, for most parents, I think, our goal is to guide, co-pilot, uh, enhance our children's lives, and then eventually get to them to the place where they are free and living on their own and making their own decisions. And so, you know, I'll just speak for myself. With my son, my goal is to teach him. I have this very limited time with him, even though some days it seems like a long time. 18 years or whatever. Sometimes it's longer than that. I hope it's a lot longer than that. But I have a very limited time with him to have him absorb the things that I think are going to be the healthiest for him and keep him healthy and happy. And that when he's away from me, when he gets older, that he'll still be stepping into those healthy habits or healthy lifestyle choices on his own. Um, and by far and away, my experience has been the best thing that parents can do for their kids is to model the behaviors in all of the things that they want their child to do. Your child is always watching you, they're always learning from you. Um, Good things and not so good things sometimes, even for myself, of course. um, but the every day I used to be in the office, I see the way the children just worship their parents, even though they might not say it every day. The children are just loving their parents so much and following them and doing what they do. So if you want to really change things up, or course correct, or even just slightly change to make it tweaks here and there to improve, start with yourself as the parent, and your child will follow you.
Dads, let me lean into this one just a little bit. If you haven't had that moment where your child does something, you're like, what are you thinking? And they're like, well, you do it all the time, dad. You haven't had that moment yet. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. And it is a wake up call as a parent when you look at what something your child's doing and you're like, oh, you want to yell, and you take that breath in and go, wait, she sees me do this all the time. Right. It's a hard gut check. And we think about it sometimes with the way we act, right? We think about it maybe with our tempers, but this is every facet of your life. Your children are always watching. Even if you don't realize it, little eyes are always on you. So, dads, it's time for us to take care of ourselves and step up and take care of our own health. We've talked about this on the show many times, not just for yourself, but because your children are watching. So, if you're dealing with some issues because you've carried too much weight, or you haven't taken care of yourself health wise, you haven't stayed in the gym or eaten healthy, if you're developing issues or have some issues because of that, do you want your children to have them? Do you want them to go through it? Because they're going to follow your lead. Sorry, I'll get off my high horse because that one's struck home pretty well. I just started dieting again because like I've been sitting behind a computer too long and just munching unhealthy things and being lazy about what I'm eating and taking care of. And it's like, oh, I haven't been in the gym as much as I should. And so that one really sets in on me personally, because I know I'm making that mistake right now and I'm trying to fix that.
And that's okay. And Brent, starting with yourself, or me starting with myself, and every single parent out there having compassion for themselves. So the other thing that's so important for parents, and so important for the health of the child, is for the child to feel completely accepted and loved by the parent. And I guess what I mean by that is, you know, kids look to their parents for their self-worth and their self-value. So a parent if a parent so the parents need to feel good about themselves as the parent first, because it's very hard to tell your child, or model for your child feeling good about yourself if you don't actually feel that good about yourself. You can still want to change things, but at the very core, for parents to understand that me as the parent, I'm 100% worthy, I'm 100% valuable, even if I make mistakes, when I make mistakes, because I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm valuable as a human being. My child is valuable as a human being. I don't need to change to be more valuable. My child doesn't need to change to be more valuable. We can change if we want to, but it's not going to make us better or more valuable humans. So I like really trying to make sure that parents totally understand that and believe that, Because if you can mirror that for your child is gonna your child is really going to start off with, I'm acceptable the way I am. I My parents love me just as I am, and so I love myself just the way as I am. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, self-esteem is vital.
Yeah.
Your your own
And
self-esteem
kids learn
for
that from their
kids.
parents. Sorry to overspeak you.
No, you're right. They're here to listen to you. They hear me all the time anyway, so that's fine. Sheila, sleep is an unpopular topic when it comes to kids. Like it's very polarizing. Parents either have really strong opinions about it one way or another, or they think it's absolutely unimportant. What do we need to be doing with our kids as far as healthy sleep?
Well, we need to make sure that everyone is getting sleep. You just can't be healthy. You can't be a healthy person if you're not sleeping well. I can tell you that as someone who's went through residency training and didn't sleep much. And then I was a hospitalist. I worked only in the hospitals for about 10 to 15 years of my career, and I didn't sleep a lot. And it's very hard to eat right, uh, have the motivation or have the energy to work out, get some movement in your life, and just emotionally it's very hard when you're not sleeping. And the same thing goes for our kids. So um I don't think that there's no way to underestimate the power of sleep. That is by far and away the it seems like low hanging fruit to me. Like we all should be able to get really good sleep if we focused on it. But I think the first thing that comes before that is people really understanding how crucial it is for your overall health and overall well-being.
Okay. That's we actually have aligned ourselves with ghostbed.com as one of our sponsors because I think the power of sleep is so important. Personally, that's something I can stand behind. I sleep on one of their mattresses. I've slept so much better. I didn't realize the mattress was that important until I switched over. But it's one of the reasons I aligned with them as a sponsor is like, no, I can absolutely stand behind this because I've done a lot of personal training in the gym and trying to get clients to understand it's like, no, what really needs to work is after you get out of here,
Mm,
you need to go have some healthy food.
mhm,
You need to drink lots of water and you need to get lots of rest tonight.
mhm.
I can't oversell. It's like you need to sleep. Oh, you're only sleeping 5 hours? No, 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 that's not good enough. You need to actually sleep.
Right.
Uh,
And again, going back to our very ancient body, we used to, sleep a lot more because there was no light. We didn't have the light bulb, and we didn't have all of these devices providing constant entertainment that are really hard to turn off because they're designed to just keep us going. Um, but the power of sleep, especially for kids, I just can't. It can't be overstated. It depends on how old your child is. It's easy to find online, like how much sleep your child should be getting. My son's 11, so he's supposed to be getting somewhere between 9 and 11 hours a night. Um, and so so again, it just goes back to, I find like if parents truly believe that message and really understand the power of sleep and the benefits of sleep, then they feel very committed to getting that sleep, um, or helping their child get that sleep. If you're kind of not really buying into that, then the child might get less sleep on a regular basis. So my you can't expect your child to just look at the clock and be like, oh, it's 9. I'm supposed to go to bed now. They're just not going to do that. Our kids' brains aren't like that. They are like in the moment. But so that's where the parent acts in the child's best interest and shuts everything down and goes to bed. Everyone goes to bed.
our 8-year-old is actually surprised us once or twice. I'm like, is it bedtime yet? Well, baby, if you're tired, go to bed. That's fine. I'll go tuck you in. It was one of those rare moments where both my wife and I went,
Yeah,
are you
my sister
sick?
has a son like, or he's old. He's a 20 something now, but when he was a little guy, he would just grab his blanket and walk down the hall and be like, I'm going to bed. We'd be like, what? But that's so good. He knows, he's listening to his body.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now we have some friends who think it's crazy because we still put our daughters to bed between 8:30 and 9
Yeah,
usually at the latest.
yeah, that's
Like
awesome.
once or twice a year, 4th of July, they get to stay up late because it doesn't get dark till like 10 something here almost
Oh, okay. Yeah,
on the 4th of July.
yeah.
So they get to stay up a little bit later because we wait till 9 something before we start lighting fireworks because you can't see them otherwise.
Okay. Yeah,
But most time, we have several friends who are like, "You bring kids to bed really early." It's like, well, that's something I can control. My
totally.
my 8-year-old will sleep in until you wake her up.
Mhm.
My 10-year-old, I'll be in my office working at 6 o'clock in the morning, and here she comes, right? But I can control when she goes to bed,
Yeah.
right, and how she goes to bed. So I try and put them in a position to be successful that way, and just let them wake up when they wake up.
That's perfect. That's exactly right.
Sarah was saying we did 7:30 for a long time. As
Mm,
they've gotten older, we finally fudged to 8 and 8:30, but it's like
right. Yeah,
they're trying to tell us like we can go to bed at night now.
exactly, exactly, I think as parents, like, we need to understand some of these things. We just in our minds need to make them kind of non-negotiable for the majority of time, but certain, special days, or holidays or whatever, once in a while. But for the vast majority of times, once the parent has decided and committed to knowing that this is the best thing for my child, it makes it so much easier to to just be like, nope, we're going to bed, even when the child protests, which of course they will potentially every single night. My son still is like, what? I'm in fifth grade. Why am I going to bed at 8:30? I said, because I believe it's the healthiest and best thing for you. And if I wasn't that committed to that, then he'd be going to bed later.
And guys, you can dig back. I actually did a whole show on sleep routines with your kids because I have a very specific sleep routine that we've stuck with since my daughter was born. Right? They know. I even have soundtrack for it. Like they are programmed. Adele 25 comes on, they still start yawning. Like
Oh, cool. Yeah.
instantly, the minute she breaks with that first note, hello, they just start fading. Because I played it every night of their life, with a few exceptions, since they were born at bedtime. This is what comes on.
That's
So
a good tool. That's a good strategy. Things like that. That's such a wonderful,
I got
you know.
accused of brainwashing. It's like, hey, it's what marketing does to you. They tune you into certain sounds and ideas as
Yeah,
triggering certain responses, right?
yeah. That's how our brains work.
Guys, if you're getting something out of this, be sure to do all the good social media nonsense. Share this with somebody who would benefit from it. That's the greatest thing you can do with the show right now, is to share it with somebody who will benefit from hearing this show and having it in their lives. Depending on what platform you're on, leave us a review, give us a comment. I respond to all of our comments. Do the thumbs up thing. Yay, all that good social media nonsense. Okay, let's go back to the real show. Now, Sheila, let's talk about movement for a minute. We've become a very sedentary society. How much exercise and activity should we be making sure our children are getting in their days?
Well, um, the the there's no like official recommendation, except I think most pediatricians and most doctors would recommend that kids get 1 hour of activity a day. Maine started this program called Let's Go, and they have, it's 5210, 5 fruits and vegetables a day, maximum 2 hours of screen time a day, 1 hour of physical activity a day, and zero sugary drinks. And that's kind of like a public health message that has been taken up across the country. But I think, you know, I like to use the word movement because sometimes I think exercise seems hard and scary and even painful to some kids. But kids, as we all know as parents, they just love to run around and love to love to play. So turning the TVs off, turning the screens off, and just sometimes if I blow up like a balloon, not a helium balloon, but just a regular, like a party balloon. My son will chase that balloon around the house, keeping it up. We play
For
keep.
hours.
Yeah, he's just having fun. He and his friends, the 10-year-old boys running around this place, they're just having fun doing that kind of thing. So any kind of movement like that, I think for parents to use the word movement is really good. Let's just move our bodies. We feel so much better that way. And kids naturally like to do that. Kids also love to be outside. So any kind of thing you can do outside with your kids. They don't necessarily love, most kids don't like to go on a walk like an adult would, but they like to play something outside, bubble, just blow bubbles, any kind of movement like that. It doesn't really have to be breaking a sweat, running. I think, the more people get used to moving their bodies, the easier it is. Your girls love going on walks, Sarah said. Well, that's good.
Yeah, Sarah's got them. I don't want to say conditioned into going for walks with her and taking the dog, and
Well, they probably love that special time together, and they consider that they're probably not even considering that as exercise. They're probably just thinking, they're spending time with mom, and they
right.
love that.
You
I
catch-
think using a dog or a pet is something good too, because lots of times kids will feel motivated to help their pet. Oh, our dog needs some exercise. Let's help our dog. That kind of thing is a good strategy too.
Hear that? Lower the screen time, guys, and it helps take care of this whole situation.
Yeah.
Right? We are so bad about this. The society has moved on and technology has moved forward. Limit the screen time, and they'll become more active without you even doing much else. When
100.
they have to go play because they can't watch TV or play on their tablet or whatever, they're more likely to do it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then after they're outside for 15 minutes and they're like, "We're bored, we wanna come back in," just say, "Nope, the screen is off." This is again just where parents need to feel truly committed to the true wellness of their child, and it's painful sometimes to have to keep arguing about, I don't wanna watch, or I wanna watch this, I wanna use my screen, and sometimes it's just easier to say, fine, go ahead, but truly, like, it's worth it for your child to, it's worth it for you to set the boundary, and when you really believe that movement is important. And even if, say, it's pouring rain, and I still think limiting screen time and they're just bored in the house or playing with their games in the house, that's so powerful, and they need that too. Yeah, too much screen time is a real problem.
Our daughters like to sit on my wife's exercise bike while they're homeschooling. Right? They'll have because we're part of a video system, right? So they're watching lessons online and so if they can get away with it, they'll sit on the exercise bike while they're watching their class or whatever.
Good. Yeah.
It's been the most useful thing about that bike right there. Sheila, stress management seems like it should be a really important topic. I think a lot of adults are out of touch with how much stress is involved in childhood these days, right? Because we all fall into that. Well, back in my day, I'm 43. Back in my day was a while ago now, right? I mean, it's not like 100 years ago, but life has changed a lot in the
100%.
last
Yeah.
20 years, in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes as adults, we underestimate the modern stresses on our kids, so we don't realize that it's not an intentional negligence to it, but we don't realize the level of stress in their life at such a younger level now.
Right.
How can we help deal with the idea of stress with our children and help them manage that? Because they have to do it. We can only help them do it.
Right.
So how do we start that conversation with them and approach this?
So again, starting with yourself and understanding, how do you as the parent manage your own stress, and what do you do um, to understand your own emotions, and understand mind management strategies for yourself as an adult, knowing that your child's brain is not cognitively advanced. There's part of our brain, in the very front part of our brain, is called the prefrontal cortex. This is kind of like the you could think of it like the CEO of your life. It's really good at planning things, following through on things. It's all the executive functioning skills that kids don't have right now. This part of our brain is not really fully formed until we're 25, 26 years old. Um, so kids are really being a little bit run by the more ancient part of their brain, or the primitive part of their brain, um, which is more of a reactive brain. So I think something that parents can do is help kids understand and allow whatever feelings and emotions they're having at the time.
Mhm.
Naming emotions, learning when they're young, or really any time, but trying to name whatever you're feeling is so important for kids. And when a child's able to name, or a parent helps their child name what they're feeling, and then the parent allows them to feel that way without trying to change it, or, oh, that feels yucky, or that's a negative feeling, that's a negative emotion, we got to get you feeling more positive. Teaching our kids from a very young age that experiencing negative emotion is a big part of life, and even, we're not seeking that out, obviously, but when it's coming to us, learning to accept it, learning to acknowledge it, learning to kind of ride through it, and knowing that it will go away. Then, if a kid can learn that very early on, it would save so many behaviors that become problematic down the line. Overeating, over drinking, over shopping, over anything, right? Over when you're over scrolling, when a child can learn, okay, what am I really feeling? And it's okay for me to be feeling that way. And all I need to do is just sit with this feeling right now, and with the help of the parent. But the parent needs to learn how to do that first.
Okay. Now, Sheila, I like to give really actionable intel here.
Okay.
So just, quick, simple steps. What are the first 3 steps our listeners can take right now after this podcast to start making healthy change in their family's lifestyle?
My first, well, I'm not sure it is an action, it is a to do thing, but it's a little bit more. You're not going to be able to stick to anything until you really understand why you're doing something in the first place. Because if you're just doing something because someone's telling you to do it, or and you don't truly believe it's in the best interest of yourself and your child, you're not going to be able to stick with it. So parents, spend some time thinking, maybe writing it out even. why why do I think it's important for me and my child to potentially change these habits we have, or live a healthy lifestyle? That would be my first thing, is like, understand why you want to change something in the first place.
That is absolutely an action item. So you're doing great.
Okay. And then number two, I think I am a huge proponent of trying to decrease the amount of sugar our kids are getting, added sugars. I think if you looked at like the WHO, the American Heart Association, all of these major bodies, the CDC, they recommend that kids get 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, 24 grams of sugar. or less a day. And actually, if you're under 2 years old, you're not supposed to have any added sugars. So you're not supposed to be eating any of those, you know, cute, adorable little puffs or things that the marketing people have made. All these
That
companies have.
everybody gets. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think trying to help, like I use the term with my son, reset to factory settings, like reset our brains and our taste buds. Your taste buds turn over every 14 days. So if we can try to decrease the total amount of sugar our kids are getting, it'll help everything. It'll help sleep. It'll help mood. It'll help cognitive learning. It'll help behavior. It'll certainly help with weight and hormonal things with kids who are struggling with an extra weight. So I guess the first actionable step would be for the parents to read the labels and find all the places that extra sugar is creeping in to your what?
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I know, but it's actually there's and it's not too overwhelming to make changes though. It is everywhere, and at the same time, you can make swaps that are they make ketchup with no sugar. They make spaghetti sauce with no sugar. They make bread with no sugar added and things like that. And so I think that reading the labels and figuring out what you're actually eating is uh, is the second big to do step for parents.
Okay. Figure out why.
Hmm?
Figure out why. Educate yourself on it.
Hmm.
Third step.
I guess the third step that I recommend is parents go first, meaning you make these changes for yourself, potentially before changing your whole family. Step out, be the leader of your family, make a change for yourself, see how you feel. If you say you give up flour and sugar or give up whatever, get to bed on time, start getting some movement on a regular basis. You make these changes first for yourself. You'll see how good you feel. You will be so committed and driven to want your child to feel equally as good. So
Okay.
that's my third step for parents.
I
I
like
think a lot of this lifestyle, like I mentioned right at the very beginning, so much can be done to help our kids without asking them to change anything. We change as the parents, we change ourselves, and the trickle down effect will greatly improve our kids' lives in
what is
everything.
next for Dr. Sheila Carroll?
What did you say? Sorry, I missed
What
it.
is next for you?
Oh, what's next? Um, well, you know, part of my reason for doing this is I was an overweight kid. I started being overweight around 9 or 10 myself and have struggled with my weight honestly my whole life. And it's it's hard, I want to say. It's just hard to be an overweight kids. And for some kids, and maybe for some kids it's not. I don't know, but for me it was, and it affected so much of my life. Um, and and so I think I just feel like we can help our kids and save them years of struggling, and uh, we can we can help ourselves, and that will help our kids, and that will help your kids, your grandchildren change the patterns of the future generations. So I'm just, next for me is just trying to figure out ways to help people more, and empower parents to help their children. Parents are already helping their children and doing so well, but to really step into their full power. Sometimes I think parents think like, oh, okay, now we gotta go to the pediatrician, they'll tell us what to do, or go to the dietitian and tell us what to do, or go to the therapist, or I'll send my kid to a therapist, they'll tell them. Actually, you as the parent, yes, use all those people for resources, but you as the parent can do all of that yourself with appropriate help and support yourself.
I can totally see you doing a elementary age reader, like kids book. I think you would be great at that. Just
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I can like totally see it just building in my head that you would be excellent as a source to write a book for kids to help them understand these things.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, things like that would be, yeah, I think so beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I just wanna let's just help our kids, like, be as happy and healthy as possible.
Is your website the best place to find you or somewhere else?
Yes, my website is the best place to find me. That was an adventure making that.
If you don't know how to do it, it definitely is. I
Yeah.
started doing websites years ago and I
Well,
still
it's funny the change going from being a doctor to kind of being a coach or an entrepreneur has been fun and exciting and a growth opportunity for me. So it's been great.
guys, that's www.sheilacarrollmd.com. We will, of course, have links in the description for everything to make sure that you can find Sheila and that you can continue this journey that you're starting on this show into her world. She can help you far more than I can let her do in this show, guys. So go check her out after. Sheila, we're going to wrap this up. What is the big takeaway, the biggest takeaway you want parents to hear today on this show you want them to leave with?
I want them to leave with knowing that they are the most important person in their child's life and they can help their child. I specifically try to help parents help their children with their weight, but it kind of goes to anything. Parents, you are the most important person in your child's life. They're watching what you do. And so the work that you're willing to do on yourself will 1000% benefit your child.
Sounds good. I like it. It's all on us. We're big into personal responsibility here. So thank you, Dr. Carroll, for sharing with us, taking the time to be here today, and for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you for having me. I love what you're doing.
I'm so excited about this conversation. I cannot wait to share this out. Guys, be better tomorrow because of what you do today, and we'll see you on the next one.
This has been the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for everything man, husband, and father. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a show. Head over to www.thefallibleman.com for more content and get your own Fallible Man gear.